If you're lucky enough to have one of these or thinking about getting one, here's another tip on all these amazing functions from this studio in your pocket, the PASportVO. And by the way, if you do want to buy one, go to the Centrance website and you'll find the PASportVO there and you can order yours.
This one is the producer's studio. So this is Robert. This is, Robbo. This is them engineering and just wanting to have the ability to communicate with the talent in the booth. And that's what this mode is for. And I also threw in the record on PC1, comms on PC2, because I figured some producers are like, I don't let the internet touch my DAW, it's a separate computer. So that's kind of what this mode is. What do you think? This is one that you would use probably, Robert.
Yeah, and it's kind of clever. You can use the second mic input as your talkback in the control room. You got that mic, so you got your talkback mic, you have your talent mic, you have your speakers, you have your talent headphone. And in this case, so the one thing that would be interesting is that you as the engineer, because you're listening to speakers, you're going to want to pass the talent through your DAW. But the playback that goes to the talent, you're not going to want to have that knob switched over to mic. So the talent will want to hear the mic. You'll probably have to flip that mix knob back and forth a little bit, because if not, the
playback knob.
Yeah, because you want to hear the talent, so you got to listen through the DAW. But then you don't want the talent hearing them twice, so you only want the talent to hear the DAW when you have something to play for them. And the only way to do it is to flip that back and forth.
You would, let's see. So while tracking or while recording, you would turn it to mic?
While recording, you would turn it to mic. The speaker output is always the output of the computer. Then you basically keep that over to the left while recording and to the right while playing back. And you
do you have to turn it to the right while playing back?
They won't hear it if not.
Oh, in the cans. They won't hear playback in their cans. Got it. So turn the mic.
You'll hear playback is my understanding, but they won't hear it unless you flip that over to the right.
Talent playback, turn to the right.
And that's all to avoid a double monitor, like that little extra latency that gives you the phasey sound.
Right.
I mean, if your talent doesn't care about that, then leave it in the middle, but someone might be sensitive to that.
Yeah. So that would be something the mixing engineer would actually be twisting accordingly. Again, an outlier situation, but I do know a lot of voice actors who also do engineering. They produce, they coach, they have a booth at home. They sit outside the booth while other people record. A lot of people do this. So this is another mode that you could be able to do this and handle it without having to have other gear.
It's not its primary focus, so you do have to flip that knob between playback and record.
As a producer listening through the speakers, assuming you're using speakers, you'll always be hearing the DAW. So you will always monitor through the DAW while recording.
That way you hear the talent.
Always hearing the DAW monitoring, which is really what you want to be doing. As we were saying earlier, you should, as the producer, be listening to what the DAW is recording, right?
Mic 2 is never monitored. So how is that going to work as a talkback? You're going to bring that into the DAW, and then you're going to play it back, but they're not going to hear it.
No, the mic 2 is always going to feed their cans. They're always going to hear it.
Mic 2 doesn't feed the cans.
When you select mic 2.
Oh, when you select mic 2. So there's your talkback button. I see what you're saying. Correct.
Yeah, mic select is the talkback button. Again, this is not conventional design. This is not what you would typically have. But
and when you do that though, watch out for the feedback in the control room. A little bit. Because you're going to be monitoring through the DAW. Mic 2 will be going into the DAW as the talent. You're switching mic 2 in place of mic 1, and you potentially are going to send that out your speakers.
So close.
Watch it.
There's no dimming. There's no auto dimming function that when you switch. Yes, that is right. So this is why talkback setups are actually rather uniquely designed, because not only do they do this part, they also dim the monitors to prevent feeding back between the monitors and the talkback mic. Right. That's a very typical thing.
But that's going to work. That's definitely going to work, especially if the engineer is wearing headphones, and it's like no problem at all.
This is it gets a little bit trickier when there's monitor speakers. If the engineer is wearing cans, it definitely makes things simpler.
And then there's no feedback loop. Hit that mic switch, talk to them. When you do talk to them, you can't hear them, just so you know.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
It's an either or switch. It's
this is like
right.
right.
You can't talk over each other.